Okay, this is the completed kit for a subscriber. He wanted the polisport headlight with high beams and low beams, and the normal tail light, and the little fork light blinkers. This is the toggle switch for the high beam, low beam, and obviously front brake light. The front brake is hooked to the rear brake light, and this is the switch for it. But it's basically completely done, and I was just double checking everything. Oh, and the horn is right here as well. But this is power, and that does everything. Turns on the running lights, turns on the tail light back there, and then this right here, this switch, is what toggles the high beam, low beam, as you can tell. And it is blue when it is on. And this can just mount basically onto these bolts is where I would suggest putting them. And then you can just kind of have it off to the side of your start switch or your kill switch, whichever. But that's basically the whole thing. So there's the tail light. And then make sure when you're putting these on that you put these on the correct side. So right now that's on the left side, and that's the left blinker. So make sure that you do that correctly. And then right blinker, and you have to press it again to turn it off. Obviously, if you press both, it's gonna flash both like it's hazards. So just make sure that you turn it off. And you can kind of tell on here, it gets brighter when it's toggled, and then the other one will kind of dimly flash. But that's how that works. There's the tail light, left and right, and the horn. Oh, sorry, I hit the on-off switch. This is the horn. So that works too, but that is the entire setup. So I'm getting ready to box this up and send it out to the guy. And sadly, the stuff that he bought isn't gonna work out. He did send me a different kind of fork tube blinkers right here, but they didn't have integrated flashers, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that. It's kind of a hassle to get the flashers to work unless you just swap out the bar switch, but I already know how to use this one, so it's a lot easier for me. And he also sent me this really big horn. I guess he got it from Revzilla or something, but you can tell next to the horns that I typically use. It's a lot bigger and obviously way thicker. So these are only $5 anyway. So this is probably louder, but honestly, if you're riding a dirt bike, revving it is going to be louder than this horn or that horn. But I always suggest putting a little bend in this bracket here and mounting it right off of this bolt. That is definitely the easiest way to do it. So in his case, that's probably what he'll end up doing, and he'll replace his front number plate with the polisport one. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire kit. All of these are waterproof connectors that thread together so they cannot be pulled apart. You'd literally probably have to hang on this with all of your body weight for it to come apart. But and they're all waterproof too. That's what that red seal is. So that'll keep all the water out. And the horn wires, doesn't matter what way you put them on, just so you know. You can swap them, do whatever, it's not gonna hurt anything. And when you go to wire this in, basically you're just gonna connect everything that you see and it will work. It's just as easy as that. Every single one of these connectors has a different pin layout, so you cannot screw it up. There's a 2-pin, a 3-pin, and a 5-pin. So there's 0% chance that you're gonna end up plugging something in backwards. So you don't even need to worry about that. But it's as easy as it gets. There's a fuse there, and I'll send you some extra fuses as well, just in case, but I highly doubt you'll need them. And then this is also like a little extension that goes clear from the front to the tail light, so that you can basically unplug this, wire it with everything else, and that way you don't have to try and feed the tail light through something or feed the front through something. It's just a lot easier that way, so that's how I've always done it. But yeah, that's the completed kit, and it is working correctly. So next time I will be putting the exact same thing with the exception of the headlight. I'll be finishing it up on my bike. As I already showed you before, I have everything pre-wired for power and for the tail light. Now I just have to do basically the front wiring harness, which is pretty much just everything you see right here in the frame. So pretty easy. One more time, I'm gonna remind you, make sure that you put this on first. If you do not put this on first, you might screw it up. So make sure you put that on first. If you do not put this banjo bolt on, it's gonna cause you problems. And also, double check the orientation of everything before you put it on. The tail light needs to have the wire coming out of the left side of the bike if you're looking at it from the back. But I suggest just plugging it into power, turning it on, pressing left and right, making sure that you know where everything goes, and then installing. And I also would suggest just unplug this, get everything fished through as well as you can, and just unplug everything basically until you're ready for the final install. But I always do basically the wiring from the back to the front first, and then I worry about the front afterwards. So that's literally it. It's gonna be pretty easy for them, I think. So, and obviously anytime anybody has any issues, they reach out to me in my email, and I'll always respond quickly and get everything resolved. Or if something's not working correctly, I'll make sure that they get it figured out. Another side note, the rear brake light flashes when you pull in the brake. That's a safety feature. It is not wired incorrectly. So if you pull the brake, it's gonna flash bright red to signify the people behind you that you are braking. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. I'm excited to get working on this too, so that'll be coming up soon.